All right. Game time. It's 4 o'clock on Monday, April the 6th. How we going, Seshes? Bit of a Monday special for us. A few pre-game nerves today. Big week, big week. Wasn't going to do a show this week. I was going to leave everyone alone, but unfortunately for you guys, too much going on. Had a good break. Hope everyone had a great Easter. Hope everyone stayed safe, didn't spend too much moolah on the petrol. Good to be here. We're here for the Eels and the Tigers. Teams are getting ready to run out. Scoreboard's here as usual. Chat is live as usual. And can I just say before we get going, I'm on for a perfect week. After an absolute debacle last week, I'm back. All we need is the Tigers to salute. Yes, I shouldn't say it. I've jinxed myself. Shit happens. We're after the Tigers to salute here for a perfect round. I'm going to look like an absolute fucking genius. How's everyone going? As usual, guys, the chat is live. Jump in, say good day. Tell me what you really think. The boys usually do. New background this week. I had a few people pointing out during the week in some of the clips that my garage ceiling is about to collapse. So I thought it was distracting from my beautiful face, so I thought we'd spin it around. I've come up with another way of watching the footy instead of on the TV behind me. Got quite the setup here. I'll have to show you one day. But everything is looking the goods, and the ceiling is definitely falling down. I had a proper look at it today. It's gone. It's rat shit. Ceiling, no good. Teams are just getting ready to run out. Heaps to go through, eh? So it feels like it's been 6 months, all in 4 days. We've gone from Siebes getting sacked to Manly absolutely killing it. Fozball. We've got a dog's breakfast at the Dogs. You like that? You like that for a headline? People keep telling me I'm going to be on 360 shortly the way I'm going, so I need to work on my headlines. Dog's breakfast at the Dogs. I need you to help me with a conundrum. Coaching conundrum that I don't quite understand. Bulldog Richie's just pissed me off too. I'm fired up about a couple of articles that are just starting to appear. But this should be a cracking game of footy. Should be an absolutely cracking game of footy. Dragons, what about my Dragons? We're about to claim another scalp, the Sunday Sesh. We already one coach down. We're about to claim another. We're about to put another notch on the belt. Tigers are just walking out. They don't really look keen. I do need them to fire up, though. We need the Tigers to salute. So we'll get through all that. We'll wrap up all the games that have been. We'll do our next week's picks as usual. Talk a little bit of golf. We'll get that out of the way early because I know no one gives a shit about it, but my podcast, I care about golf too bad. And we'll have a good time. Chat's live, guys, and for the people who don't stay for the whole show, want to catch up later in the week, usually by Tuesday, so who knows this week? It's already Monday. We're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on Amazon, we're on iHeartRadio. Usually I get them loaded up by about Tuesday. So if you want to catch up, ruin your daily commute, go for it. Steve Leary's in the chat. Death, taxes, and Steve Leary being here. They're the main staples of life. How are you, buddy? Up the Tigers for sure. What do you think of the new setup, mate? Bit better visually. I'm missing Kramer, though. I need Kramer looking over my shoulder. How's your Easter, mate? You been good? Nev Glover. So they're doing Vale to Nev Glover on the TV. Nev coached me in 2002, I want to say, 2001. And if it wasn't for that bloke, I never would have got a start in first grade. He was my... He was a third grade coach at Wyong at the time, and I'd just come off the field from a reserve grade game, and he went up to the first grade coach and said, if you don't put big fella on, you're an absolute lunatic. And I debuted in first grade later that day, set up the winning try. World famous for dropping a ball over try line in a grand final, Nev, but one of the nicest humans you'll ever meet was a prosecutor. You can't often say that about lawyers. But very sad to hear of his death. Keeping an eye out for when the funeral's happening, actually, because I will be sticking my head in. But that's my Neville Glover's story. Neville would have got a start in first grade without him. R.I.P. Nev. Working chocolate for Steve-O. Big chocolate guy. You know what I've got the shits about? I normally got, not like me to have the shits. What we're going to try and do today is embody the neon sign that's up behind me. We're trying for good vibes only, although you guys can't see the bloody sign, I just realised, because the scoreboard's covering it. Well, there's a neon sign there that says good vibes only. We're going to try and embody it. It's not going to work because I've fucking got the shits. Got heaps to be pissed off about in the world around us. But it's Easter Monday, we're not at work, so where would you rather be? What's your pick the score in this, Steve Leary? Just remember, guys, the chat's live. Say good day. So I've usually got the shits because they bring out hot cross buns too early in the year. You can guarantee the minute Christmas is over, hot cross buns are coming out. Not a huge fan of them, but with the change in the weather over the last 2 days, you know what I've been craving? Fucking hot cross buns. And you know what I've had zero of? Hot cross buns. None, not a one. And usually Mrs. Sunday Sesh is all over it. Tigers 1-12. Yeah, give me a pick the score though, Steve-O, because that's margins are one thing at the moment, but the scores have been outstanding, haven't they? God, we've had some big scores. I'm going to go 38-28. 38-28 Tigers. Scoreboard's up and working, that's good. So my first problem of the day is no hot cross buns. Mrs. Sunday Sesh has let me down. She's normally all over it. We went to the in-laws yesterday. That's why there was no show there in Bargo, which is about 2.5 hours away from where I am. 25-18. Well, there's going to be a field goal, says Steve Leary. There's going to be a field goal. So we went to Bargo yesterday. Beautiful breakfast. My mother-in-law always puts on a mean spread. Loves it. Absolutely loves it. Froths on Easter, froths on Christmas cooking. No fucking hot cross buns there either. And then she says later, I've got a heap stashed away. I'll give them to you to take home. We won't eat them. We forgot the hot cross buns. Forgot them. Tigers have got a bit more black in the jersey today. A bit more black and white. A bit more west, dare I say it. Steve Leary's got Bargo in family. Bargo in family. Family in Bargo even. Jesus. Like the Tigers jersey. Bit more black and white about it. Bit more magpies. Just to piss off all the Tigers supporters. How good. I'll just knock one out of the way real quick. I had a couple of people ask where the Friday frothies have gone. Only a couple, because I was doing a zero alcohol beer review every Friday afternoon on the socials. The reason there hasn't been any for a while is I've settled. We've settled on Cooper's Zero. Bloody beautiful. And if you've ever watched one of my beer reviews, I measure them on a couple of things, but one of them's a fat as fuck meter, because the dangerous thing about zero alcohol beers is they might not have alcohol, but they've got heaps of everything else, heaps of sugar, heaps of carbs. You will put on weight if you think you're doing the right thing. So I always give it a fat as fuck rating. These things, 49 calories. 49 calories, zero alcohol, tastes bloody beautiful, bit of a pale ale about them. So I've settled. That's all I've been drinking for a couple of months now when it comes to zero alcohol beers. So that's why there's no Friday frothies. I've thrown me weight behind the Cooper Zero. Not a paid advertisement, by the way. Coopers, if you are listening, if anybody's listening, am open to sponsorship. Don't even need money, just want free shit. So if we can get me some free shit, that'd be good. Pretty happy with me setup. So apart from not being able to watch the footy on the telly, which one of the flaws I've found in doing this is I don't actually get to see much of the telly because I'm too busy watching the footy because I'm too busy watching chat screens and everything else. But I got the iPad in front of me. It's a big iPad. Has Benji got a gum sponsor yet? That's what I want to know. I put the shout out a couple of weeks ago for Benji to have a gum sponsor. He chews it hard. Makes him look like a tough cunt. Makes him look like a hard man chewing that gum as hard as he does. There's 100% chance, Steve Leary, that your family knows my family down there, mate, or my wife's family. Very small place, Bargo. A few banjos. Whenever I get off the Hume Highway onto Avon Road, you can hear the banjos start. That's for sure. Is that a Death Star or a soccer ball? That is a basketball. That is a limited edition Kobe Bryant. Can't turn away from the mic, you won't hear me. The Blackmores, oh mate, I don't know. Can they send me some supplements though? So your family's the Blackmores. Oh, grab this thing. This limited edition Kobe Bryant basketball in a snakeskin for the Black Mamba. Don't know what it's worth now. Cost a small fortune just after he died. It's got his signature on there. Not signed by him personally, of course. But, yeah, that's the basketball. Got heaps of shit. That's one of the best birthday presents I ever got, actually. It was matching Daniel Ricciardo Shuey paintings, which is what you can see behind me. That horse that's under the TV, that's Coniston Bluebird. That won the New Zealand Derby in 1st of March 2009. My parents had a big share in it. My parents owned that horse. Underneath that is a signed Donald Bradman cricket ball. MJ or LeBron, there's only one correct answer. 100% MJ. 100% MJ. LeBron was one of the first in... Hello, Gibbs, by the way. Oh, fucking funny. So Steve Gibbs is here. Don't worry, mate. Got a heap of room for you in this podcast. Blackmores doesn't do personality supplements. It's 100% MJ, Gibbs, and anyone who says LeBron can probably leave the building. He was one of the first entrances into my Book of Feuds alongside Rory. And for exactly the same reason, actually. I reckon they're both very similar types of soft cocks. Anyone that says LeBron is a moron. You're probably right there. And the posters behind me, not that anyone asked, but you've started me on the basketball. So every time we go to a concert, me and Mr. Sunday Sesh, posters are the first thing we go for. It's not very logistically efficient because we always get there early and we're always in the mosh no matter what concert we go to. It's a rule we got. I think I've spoken about it on here before. But so there's Blink, the Smashing Pumpkins. The one just off to that side that you can't see is Guns N' Roses. There's the Offspring and Sum 41. There's an Akadaka one. There's a Metallica one. Love me posters, love my music. So you're seeing the good side of the Cam Cave. These chairs I'm sitting on are the old pokey chairs from Carry On Tavern. What a score they were. They're heavy as shit. No, I know no one's going to steal them because you couldn't carry them down the street. I was walking past the pub one day. They were throwing them out. They were loading them into a truck to put them into storage. Old Shaz, the old manager there, says, you want them? I said, fucking no. She got the truck to drop them off. So, and we're set up on my pool table. So now you're getting a proper lay of the land. It's not just a garage, this is a cam cave, mate. This is Steve Leary. The 1% of the house you get if the Knights make the 8 is this garage. It's all I own, mate. It's all I own. How quick was Mrs. Sunday Sesh to remind me? I said to her, babe, we've got a bit of a problem. As the Knights were kicking the shit out of the Raiders yesterday, I just leaned over and said, we really need the Knights to start losing after this game because I've better bloke our house if they make the 8. She didn't even make lightning. It was like that. Well, you only own 1% of it, so he's going to be pretty disappointed. Didn't even have to think. Didn't even have to think. Do you reckon she's kept that as a reminder on her phone ever since we bought the house? I'm absolutely rooted. Me, because, you know, I'm in love and nothing's ever going to happen, I'd completely forgotten about that stat. Her, fuck, straight onto it. Got to watch her, I reckon. Got to watch her. Hey, quickly, while I got yous both here, Pluto Pup or Dagwood Dog? That's my first question. Went to Foodworks earlier. Was feeling like it's winter already. You start feeling like deep fried shit food when it's cool. They were calling them Dagwood Dogs. I was raised on Pluto Pups. They're a fucking Pluto Pup as far as I'm concerned. Absolutely a Pluto Pup. Jonah Pezzett. 0-0 after 10 minutes. Dagwood Dog. Leary, what is wrong with you? That's the first vote I've had for a Dagwood Dog. Here's the thing with them. I love them. I love them. But it only occurred to me today, the sauce dispersion is an art form. What you need to do, whenever you get them, I don't know, at the fair or at the circus or whatever, where you normally get, Pluto Pup for Gibbs. So we're 1-1. Anyone else who's watching, can you please split the vote? Well, no, we're 2-1. 2 Pluto Pups and a Dagwood. I don't even know where Dagwood Dog come from. When I first heard it, and I was an adult by this stage, yeah, carnivals, that's what I was thinking. But they were always Pluto Pups for as long as I was growing up. Fuck, Para in. Gibbs, I don't know if you realise, but I'm on a perfect round if the Tigers win this. Pezzett, short ball. Russell's going to be a good signing for... Russell's going to be a good signing for the Bears. He's looking good this year, eh? Yeah, so what I was going to say, Gibbsy, is the sauce distribution. So I didn't put the sauce in the bag. I brought it back from Foodworks because I didn't want to pay the 20 cents for a sauce at the shop. I brought it back home and took it out of the bag and started putting sauce on it. And then I went to eat it and I'm like, fuck, sauce distribution is all wrong. Sauce distribution is all wrong. The only way to eat a Pluto Pup is to squirt the sauce in the bag and then let it roll around. Perfect sauce distribution. Perfect sauce distribution. And you can even, if you want a little bit on the end, because I'm not happy with it just being on the outside, I want a little bit on the end as well, you can get it out of the bag. Didn't work it out till it was too late though. Chicken salt. Not a big chicken salt fan. Is that a controversial take? Oh, on chips, chicken salt on chips for sure, but there are people who put chicken salt on fucking everything. I don't understand. Not sure if we've discussed this before. So Gibbs has just put in the chat. I realised actually last week when I was reading this back, I'm not very good at reading what's in the chat, and it's okay for you blokes that are here, but people who listen to it later on Apple and that have no idea what I'm talking about when I talk. So Gibbsy's 6 from 7 in the tips, so you suck. Bet you didn't tip Manly. I bet you tipped the Dolphins, sucked in. Unsure if we've discussed this before, but in which sport would an average Joe Blow be the closest to not coming last at the Olympics? E.g., like an average bloke running 100 metres is what, like 6-7 or 7 off. You're saying 6-7 a lot. Is that on purpose? I'm pretty sure. Is lawn bowls in the Olympics? If lawn bowls is in the Olympics, that's your answer. Scoreboard's working a treat. And then just while we're on food, so we got Pluto Pup sorted. Still no beef jerky. So I'm on the salt and vinegar chips, which is my one of one. Absolute one of one. And I can't remember whether we did chips on here before, but I was thinking about it again today. Breakdancing. No, we had a very average Joe going Steve Leary said breakdancing. We had a very average Joe going to breakdancing, brother, and we didn't come close to a gold medal. It's a fucking great shout, though. I know there's 3 of us. I know we talked about dips before. I don't know if we did chips. Salt and vinegar is my one-on-one. Burger rings 2. And everything else miles off. I got Doritos 3, and then there's nothing else. And Doritos are only good if there's nothing else around, and preferably you need salsa. Steve Leary, cheese and onion. Fuck. So Steve Gibbs has gone Red Rock sweet chili sour cream in first. Not even close, mate. Tasty tubes. Yeah, tubes are good. Tubes are good. I'll put tubes in front of Doritos now. I've changed my power rankings. I'm not into gourmet chips, eh? When did chips go gourmet? But as soon as they did that, and I reckon it was Red Rock Deli are the fucking ones to blame, they started doing vinegar and rock salt and shit like that. Gourmet chips are going the way of pizza, but pizza should be gourmet. Para's in again. Junior Polo. Far out. Going to ruin a perfect round here. No, well, I might be a serial killer then, Steve Gibbs. Gibbs is saying that people that say cheese twisties ahead of chicken have serial killer tendencies. Well, I'll have to show you where all the bodies are buried, mate, because I'd go normal twisties all day. But twisties aren't even close to being up there. How good are burger rings? But even cheese and onion, I guess you can't call them gourmet because cheese and onion have been around forever. Anything with onion, though, not an onion guy, not an onion-friendly podcast, got to say, sorry. I'll do a bit of onion if it's really, really well cooked on a barbecue, on like a Bunnings snack. Well, the good news is I've just worked out that burger rings are great, yeah. 2 thumbs up for burger rings from Gibbs. Scoreboard is in front of me on KO, so by about half a minute. Fuck, that was a soft try. Soft try. Yeah, Cheezels. You know the problem with Cheezels, and it's probably the same as all puffy, ring-shaped. Oh, drop ball. Tigers with the chance. Tigers with a chance. face to face with Hudson Young. Watch he doesn't pull your hair. The problem with all puffy ring-shaped condiments of the chip variety, they go stale very quickly. You know how they leave them out? Your fucking auntie and uncle used to put them out in a bowl. Every party you'd ever go to would have them in a bowl. Always Cheezels or something like that. Stale very quickly, soggy very quickly too. They're a straight from the bag kind of deal, I reckon. And there's few things worse than a stale burgering. Hopeless. Tigers have fucked that up. So Benji's not chewing his gum now. Real angry. What are they doing? Oh. What are they doing? Not a quality game of footy so far. $10-0 Parramatta with 22 minutes left in the first half. Oh, lots to talk about. Feels like 6 months ago, but Manly 52. Manly 52, Dolphins 18. In Foz we trust. Was Manly the game you missed out on, Steve Gibbs? That's what I want to know. You've been very quiet up there. $100% 15 junior polos. I've thought about it. I've considered it. So Steve Gibbs wants to know, would you rather fight 15 junior polos or 30 Benjis? 15 junior polos. They're going to gas quicker. Obviously don't punch. Obviously the Benjis don't punch as hard, but is two Benji punches equivalent to one junior polo punch? That's what you got to weigh up. And it's death by 1,000 cuts with 30 Benjis pecking away at you, and you'll never get tired. So I'm going to go the 15 juniors and just hope you can tire a few of them out. Come on, Tigers. Fuck, has he gone out? Manly 52, Dolphins 18, and it's not that I like pumping my own tyres, but fuck, I'm going to here. I picked that like the dirtiest nose you could have ever picked. Go back and watch my tips video and watch how right I got that tip. It wasn't just about Manly winning, it was about how they won. Here's what I'll say, and prone to hyperbole. The Foz effect may only last one game, but we'll make fun of it and we'll bask in the glory of it for a week. Because I still think Manly got a lot of problems with their roster. The biggest issue was always going to be the Dolphins do not play well against teams they should beat. I said it in my video. I'll say it again. I don't care, and that's why I couldn't put them in my top 8. The Dolphins underperform against inferior teams. Always have. And Manly, you can see it. If you're an experienced Manly fan, you'd know the feeling because Manly, at the moment, are losing to everyone. But especially over the last couple of years, if they were playing a bottom 4 team, I'd always tip the bottom 4 team because Manly would lose. Manly used to do exactly the same thing. That's how I recognise it in the Dolphins. The game they played against the Titans was a dead giveaway because then they come out the next week and spank the Sharks and everyone went, oh, that's just... They've rebounded from a poor performance against the Titans. No. The Dolphins have got all these rock stars in attack that think that when they're playing against an inferior defence, they're going to have a field day, so they don't try as hard. That's the Dolphins. That's why Manly were always going to win that game. there's a very good chance. No, actually, they're not. I was about to say something really stupid. I was about to say there's a very good chance they would have won even if Seabold had stayed the coach. They wouldn't have because they clearly didn't want to play for Seabold. It's funny how the roster made a 9,000% improvement overnight, isn't it? We've still got no halves. We still don't have a hooker. So don't get carried away. I have called for Foz to get a 5-year contract with a 5-year option in his favour. And a car. The car was the important thing. And I missed the game. I heard the back end of it on the radio. I was at my brother's 40th up at 8 at Trinity. So I didn't get to watch it. But it was fun sitting there watching the score tick over because everyone at the table was bagging Manly and everyone at the table had tipped the Dolphins. Big footballing family, the Wilsons. And that's why the Dolphins won't make the 8. Because of shit like that. Way too good a roster to be losing games. Like you don't let them put 50 on you. You don't let them put 40 on you. I think 30 is the new, I don't know what you boys think, but I think 30 is the new 20 in the NRL now. You're going to look for a while. It'll take a bit of getting used to, but everyone's getting 30 put on them unless your name starts with Penrith and ends in Panthers. 30 ain't no thing anymore, but getting 40s and 50s from inferior teams just can't happen. Can't happen. You boys had an opinion on that game at all? Probably not, because you're fucking Knights supporters. Dogs and the Rabbits, this might take a while. This might take a while. You know what I figured out? Fucking Gus and Cameron Serrato are pinky in the brain. Pinky in the brain, 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 brain. In Gus's quest for world domination, i.e. brain, him and Pinky have outthought themselves. They've outthought themselves, they've outsmarted themselves, and now they just look like fucking idiots. Now they just look like fucking idiots. What a dog's breakfast that is, pun intended. Pun intended, dog's breakfast. And I haven't checked the newspapers, but if someone hasn't written that headline, Gus is a more powerful man than I thought because it's staring at you right in the face. Dog's breakfast. Let's go back, shall we? Let's go back with the Dogs. We go back to last year. Brain says to Pinky, now they're winning, I think were they coming first? I think they were coming first when they got rid of Toby Sexton. If they weren't coming first, they were very close to it. So they're winning everything. Brain says, world domination, Pinky, world domination. You know what we should do? We should get rid of the halfback. We should get this kid who's never played halfback before. We'll coax him out of his contract. We'll cause shit for the Tigers. We'll coach him out of his contract. We'll come in, we'll get rid of our perfectly good halfback. Because then we can take over the world. Pinky says, yeah, all righto, Brain. Let's do that. Then, Brain says, not a big enough move. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go out in the media and I'm going to tell everyone that Lockie Galvin is the best kid I've ever seen. Ever. Ever. Going to put as much pressure on the kid as I can, because then, Pinky, we can take over the world. Yeah, good idea, Brain. Then, their hooker, who's been dragging them along for all the years they were struggling, and say what you want about Reid Marnie, he was carrying the fucking Bulldogs for a lot of years, and perfectly fucking good hooker. Perfectly good hooker. Now, Pinky, I've had an idea. If we really want to take over the world, we've got to get rid of the hooker as well. So they bench the fucking hooker. Yeah, good idea, Brain. Serrato has no say in any of this. I'm absolutely sure of it. He's pinky, in case you haven't worked out in this situation. So then the Brains Trust get together and they go, righto, we've got a halfback who can't play halfback, never played halfback, isn't going to be a halfback. We've told the whole world he's the best kid we've ever seen come through. Let's put him in halfback. It's been clear for 3 years that Matt Burton's a better centre than he is 5'8". But Pinky, if we really want to take over the world, let's keep a great centre playing 5'8". Yeah, good idea, Brain. By the way, anyone who hasn't watched the Pinky and the Brain cartoons when they were a kid, this whole analogy is going to be really lost on them, so I'm going out on a limb here. But my impersonations are pretty close, I've got to say. Then they go, this year, attack was pretty poor last year after they got rid of a good halfback. I stopped short of calling him great, but after they got rid of a very good halfback who was doing great things, very good halfback doing great things, that's probably the right way to describe what Sexy Sexton was doing, and put a kid in who's 18 who's never played halfback before, and a centre playing 5'8". After they did that, they went, you know what will help us take over the world, Pinky? A new attack coach. And you know who that attack coach should be? The guy who won the fucking wooden spoon last year and got sacked. That's who our attack coach should be, Pinky, because that'll help us take over the world. Yeah, good idea, Brian. I think you're right. Then they rebuild a centre all the way back from a drug ban, playing absolutely great football. You know what'll help us take over the world, Pinky? Let's piss him off. Let's move him to the other side of the field. Let's tell him we might not have a deal for him next year. 3 rounds into the season. Yeah, good idea, Brain. Pinky and the fucking Brain have completely trashed that team. Pinky and the Brain have completely trashed that team. There is no world domination. They are absolutely foobarred. Absolutely foobarred. Then to top it all off, I've been resisting because it's very fun having the Storm in the grub section on the power rankings. It's very fun for the reaction. So I've been resisting putting the Dogs in there, but they are grubs. They are grubs. And they fucking get away with it. They get away with everything. Hip drop, nothing to see here. Forward pass, nothing to see here. Head high, head high, head high, head high. Oops, is that someone's head rolling off their shoulders down the field? No, nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. And then I don't know if I'm the only one on the planet that watched the press conference after the game the other night when they lost to South. Serrato, Pinky, didn't have Brain with him, and all he could come out was, no, the refs. How are we supposed to win a game when the refs do that to us? Do that to you. One, the refs did nothing. You've completely fucked the team. Fucked it. I left out the bit where you didn't fucking... You thought it was a good idea to build a whole team with no front rowers. We're going to be small and mobile. Well, guess what? Guess what happens to small and mobile people when big and mobile people run at them? Guess what happens? And you're going to come out and you're going to blame the fucking refs. He was rattled. Cam Serrato was fucking rattled in that press conference. I don't think he really believed the shit he was saying about the refs, but he had to say something. Gibbs, you know what I've just realised? Para odds on here, Peter Goff's reffing. Para odds on, Peter Goff's reffing. Still 10-0 Para with 11 and a half minutes to go. Let's catch up on some of the chat for a second. Steve Leary didn't put you. Who would you fight, Steve Leary, Polo or 30 Benjis? You didn't say either, Gibbs. Galvin will be in Super League in 2 years. Yeah, I haven't finished with Galvin. I'm going to go there in a second. Bailey Hayward is slower than a month of Sundays. Offers zip. Oh, he'd have you over 50, Gibbs. Hope Sexton comes out and takes the Bears to the finals in year one. Can I make you another bet, Steve Leary? The Bears aren't going to be in the finals in year one. The Bears aren't going to be... The Bears aren't going to be in the finals in year one. The Bears might be lucky to be in the finals in year 101, which is how long it's been since they've won a comp. Bears roster will be dog shit. They're lucky to beat the bye. They are not looking good, Gibbs. Steve Gibbs says the Bears roster will be dog shit. They'll be lucky to beat the bye. You're probably right, mate. I think the timing of everything, I think the timing of Papua New Guinea has fucked the Bears. Any chance they got, they were already going poorly, and then they announced PNG. And I actually think Dewey's in. Dewey's in. Remember when I said at the start of the year that Tigers had struggled because their best halfback's not a halfback and it's Dewey? That was a good take. That was a great take. Mate, if the Bears make the finals in year one, Steve, I'll sign over the other 99% while Mrs. Sunday Sesh is asleep. You can take that. You can take that as written. I'd beat Hayward over a 40-metre dash. You would not. You would not. Dewey's in. Now, just back to the Dogs for a second. I haven't got much to say about South. They probably didn't beat the Dogs as well as they should have. I think South has still got it. South aren't going to make the 8 either, I'm sure of that. They've already shown me all I need to see there. I'm not changing my opinion on that. But here's my thing with Lockie Galvin. Is Lockie Galvin about to take the crown from Braith Anasta for votes for most overrated player every year? All I can see happening, remember when Anasta was playing and they'd have the players' polls or the polls every year, and Anasta would win most overrated player every single year? Every single year he'd win it. I reckon the way the Dogs have set Galvin up and his advisors, so the way Galvin's advisors and the Dogs have set him up, he's destined to be the new king of most overrated player, regardless of what he does. Regardless of what Lockie Galvin does, he's not going to cop a fair go for the rest of his career. I don't blame him one iota for everything that's happened. He's an 18-year-old kid. I have an 18-year-old son. Still hasn't got a job. So I'm not going to blame an 18-year-old kid for what happened at the Tigers and everything that's happened since at the Dogs and everything that's about to happen and all the shitty cops. I blame his management, I blame his parents, I blame the Dogs, I blame Phil Gould. But because of that, that poor kid is going to be labelled the most overrated player from here to eternity. Set up to fail. You want the definition of set up to fail? That kid. He's going to be the next Luke Brooks. He's going to be the next Luke Brooks. There's a comparison I just came up with. Tigers went all in on him, made him out to be the next big thing, done nothing since Luke Brooks. He's going to spend 10 years at the Dogs, Galvin, getting polarised. They're going to give him a barbecue when he leaves and he's going to run and hide in the 5'8" role for Manly and do nothing. There's Galvin's career mapped out for him. I've got it. Ponga being overrated. The Ponga thing's funny, isn't it? Steve Gibbs has said, hope so, in regards to Galvin. People seem obsessed with Ponga being number one overrated at the moment. Admittedly, he's injured more than not, but the bloke is phenomenal on the field. Yeah. Yeah, I've never got the I'm not a huge Ponga fan for some reason, but I've never got the overrated call. A lot of people call him a myth. I don't get that. When he's on the field, he's fucking good. You might as well call Turbo overrated. Turbo's definitely not overrated. Everyone knows how good a footballer he is. Yeah, I called the barbecue, Gibbs. I called the barbecue. 10-6, Para over the Tigers. 7 minutes left in the first half. Who's the next game of footy? Anything to add on the Dogs, gentlemen? Or South? Panthers Storm. Panthers 50. Storm 10. We love to see it. Although, Leary, where did you land on that? Because you fucking hate the Storm, but you also hate Penrith. So where did you land on that, mate? How do you feel? How do you feel? Who do you hate the most? That's the question. So, in regards to this game, I've got a special treat for everyone when the power rankings come out. Yeah, Crichton's a fuckwit. Well, he's on the grub list, isn't he? Crichton's on the grub list. So I've got a very special treat for everyone in the power rankings when they come out, whether it's tonight or tomorrow, probably tomorrow now. But Penrith obviously going to be on top. They're going to be alongside someone very, very special to me, though, very close to my heart. So keep an eye out for that. They've won the comp. Penrith, everyone else is playing for second. No one's going to come close. I had Steve Leary texting me yesterday to say bring on Penrith for the Knights. Mate, be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. Knights are going very, very good, but Jesus Christ, Penrith are levels ahead. Penrith will put 30 on you and probably keep you to nothing. They're going to do it to everybody. Everybody. They've evolved their game. I said it a couple of weeks ago. What Penrith have done that Trent Robinson can't do, Wayne Bennett can't do, Craig Bellamy can't do. They've run out of ideas. They are not evolving. Penrith have evolved again. They've evolved their attack. They are so much more aggressive in attack. They've gone from just being a side that'll suffocate you in defence and grind you down to now they're just going to kill you. They're just going to murder you. Talk about serial killers, Steve Gibbs. Fucking Penrith. Serial killers. And I don't know what the comp does about it this year. Something monumental is going to have to happen for them to fuck this up. And I'll call it now, prone to hyperbole, if they manage to fuck this up and somehow not win the comp this year, it is the biggest fuck up I can think of. And I'm saying that 5 rounds out. No one is close. No one even looks like being close. It doesn't even look like anyone's there that could beat them on their day. Like, I don't think it matters if Brisbane play at 100% perfect football. Melbourne had a 97% completion rate. Melbourne had a 97% completion rate. Penrith put 50 on them and only allowed 10 points. That's how much the rest of the comp is. Might as well give up now. Give up now. Job done. Mad Monday. How good are Mad Mondays? How good are Mad Mondays? Tigers are in. Did he get held up? No, he didn't. Jerome Buller. Tigers are coming. Yeah, good. Tigers have the momentum. And all I'll say about Melbourne is they're cooked. Melbourne are cooked. He raked that. Are they going to get done for a rake there? He can't. Steve Gibbs has asked, did the Knights have KPP from Timu? There's a very good chance that the Knights bought KPP from the same place you got your putter, Gibbsy. Very good chance. How good is he going? He looks better in a Tigers jersey too. Tiger suits him more. Ten all kick to come. Storm are cooked. And they've had 50 put on them now, so they can't win the comp. You reckon that rule still applies? I know it applies this year because Penrith are doing what they're doing, but now that the scores are getting so high. No, but O'Brien's great. Gibbs has just written, and O'Brien was coaching him. O'Brien's the attack coach of the Bulldogs, mate. Best attack coach in the comp. Brain's going to take over the world. Brain's going to take over the world with a wooden spoon winning coach from last year running your attack. Fuck. Don't get me started. Steve Leary says the Storm won't make the 8. In fairness, Steve Leary, you have been saying that since the day we first met on here. I've got the Storm coming 8th. And I know you want to put the Knights in front of them. I'm about to throw a spanner in your works when we talk about the Knights, though, I think. We'll see how we go. Anyone else got anything to add on the Storm apart from they're cooked? They just haven't evolved. It's as simple as that. They don't know what to do when they're behind. No one knows what to do against Penrith, but let's not forget the Storm also lost to the Cowboys last week. Storm lost to the Cowboys last week. They don't know what to do when they're behind. They don't seem to know what to do when people are playing footy against them. Proper footy. 12-10 Tigers, 3 minutes to go. Oh no, Dewey. Oh! Was that a front rower just putting on a swerve? What about the swerve the front rower just put on? Was that Jack Williams? Fancy Mitchell Moses complaining to a ref. Come on, Goffy, we're mates. Come on, Goffy. We're mates, me and you. Piss off, Mitchell. What about the fucking swerve? The Steve Renouf. Renouf. What about the Steve Renouf swerve that Jack Williams puts on here? Look at this. It's not a step. Oh, hips. The hips don't lie. Old salsa hips. What about that? He fucking quick too for a number 8. Apparently he's strong as shit, that bloke. Apparently he outlifts everyone in the gym. He come over from the Sharks, I think. Shakira. Yeah, the hips don't lie. That was outstanding. Tigers dodge a massive bullet. And a good set too. Good set out of trouble from the Tigers. We might let this minute run out before I talk about the next game because I've got a lot to say about this too. Hey, can you plebs do me a favour? Every week I get off here, I'd love having a chat. Every week I get off here, there's no likes or comments on the video. Doesn't really help the algorithm. Can you just give the video a thumbs up? I don't ask for much. I don't ask for much. Wilson before the next game review. What do you want? I don't like the way you've said that, Gibbs. Gibbs has put in the chat, Wilson, before the next game review. What would you like? Halftime. Run me through your thoughts on why the fuck it's necessary for a live decision to be made from the ref. When they're scoring a try, yeah, pointless. Completely pointless, completely redundant. Don't understand. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't matter. And I've never seen him go up as a try. He either blows a whistle and they review it anyway. Here's the point. You say no try. I guess, okay, if the ref calls no try and there isn't a review process after that, so if he doesn't blow it up and go, I'm calling no try, but I want to check it. If he just says no try, then it should be play on. And there wouldn't be a review, which would then create problems. That's when the refs that's when the fuck-ups happen. So something happens over the try line. If the ref doesn't think it's a try and he just makes a call as no try without stopping play for it, like a knock on over the line, for example, it'll just be a play the ball out 10 metres without the review process. And so when they go try, the difference is when he awards a try, they've got the time for him lining up the goal kick and all that bullshit to go through the review process. If it's a no try and he just plays on, they don't have that time to do the review. And they're not going to say you get 4 tackles down the field after he's ruled to play the ball. They're not going to call it back, are they? So I don't think the live decision means shit. I don't think the live decision has any weight. Well, actually, you know what the live decision is? Gibbs, a live decision's a tiebreaker. It's like in the cricket when they're doing the LBWs and they go back to umpire's call. So the live decision for the ref is a tiebreaker if they don't see enough to overturn it. What I don't like about it is they should 100... I don't like how everything goes up no try, and there could have very easily been a try, but insufficient evidence robs them of a try. I'd much rather... I don't know. I need to ponder that more. But I know the ref's decision is a tiebreaker in it. That gives them an out. It gives them an out. 12-10 at halftime. Good game. All right. Cowboys 32, Dragons El Zilcho. Must have a great defence, the Cowboys, to not let in a point. The way they say it, it's like they're alluding to there's some evidence. Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe the ref's opinion's got to come out of it. So they blow it up, they go no try, and he doesn't have to sit there and say why he thinks it's no fucking try. Just let the video check it. Just to go back to that. All right, Cowboys 32, Dragons nothing. Sunday Sesh is about to claim its second coach. Clearly was the reason they got rid of Seabold at Manly. I might not be the reason they get rid of Flanagan at Dragons, though. It's going to come in. I don't need another journo in my Book of Feuds, but I'm fucking feuding with journos again. I'm feuding with the political landscape in sport and media. The sports media should have been running the Liberal Party's campaign in the last election, which was the worst campaign ever run by a political party ever. The campaign that has started in the last 12 hours to save Flano's job from his buddies in the media is world class, but a fucking disgrace. An absolute fucking disgrace. Shane Flanagan has a 33.9% winning ratio since he took over the Dragons. Shane Flanagan has a team that is 0-5 this year. His buddies now in the media have run a campaign over the last 12 hours to say it's not Shane Flanagan's fault, it's the players' fault. Shane Flanagan's been hard done by. The board haven't supported him. Shane Flanagan's a great coach. We all know he's a great coach. Shane Flanagan has a 33.9% winning ratio since he took over the Dragons. Shane Flanagan was banned for cheating twice. Shane Flanagan hasn't won a game this season, and Shane Flanagan picked the fucking players that are letting him down. But if you watch the fucking show at the moment or read a newspaper article, digital newspaper article, I love the trees, you'd think he's won the last 6 premierships. Because those fucking grubs, the same grubs who said Madge can't coach and Madge needs to be fired, who won a comp last year, the same grubs who said, Madge has got to be fired because Ben Teo left and the Broncos' defence has improved out of sight, those same grubs are now saying that Flanagan should keep his job. They weren't saying it for Seabold, Brent Reid was, but we know who greases his wheel. They weren't saying it for Todd Payten. Todd Payten, who before the last couple of wins had a 54% winning ratio. But we're saying it for Shane Flanagan. The same Shane Flanagan who's let 4 quality halves leave the club so his son could keep a position on the field. That Shane Flanagan has now been let down by the players he recruited. Oh, fuck, it pissed me off when I read that. And it wasn't just reading it, I read it, I saw it, I heard it. It's prolific now. The campaign is on to save his job. By his buddies at Fox, by his buddies, he had a media job while he was banned for cheating. He was working in the media while he was banned for fucking cheating. And now the campaign's on to save him. And, mate, I'm trying to have good vibes only. I'm so sick of talking about these jokers in the media. But what worries me, and it's the same with politicians, because the media controls everything, the average Joe, the type of average Joe that is only a casual who won't understand, sees that headline and goes, oh, yeah, Shane Flanagan's a good coach. Just like in a political election where people who don't actually know what's going on see one good ad and go, oh, yeah, they're doing a good job. It's not the people's fault. But how do you make sense of it? How do you make any sense of it whatsoever? Now, the one thing I can hope, you'd think I'm a Dragon supporter the way I'm carrying on. I'm not. I just don't think he ever should have had a job. I don't think he should have been. My problem with Shane Flanagan is when you combine the peptides with the salary caps and then breaching the ban that he was given, he should never have been allowed coaching footy again. I don't care. Everyone deserves a second chance in life. In life, definitely. But if you're done for cheating in sport, how do you stay in that sport? Get your second chance at life somewhere else, mate. That's my problem there. That's where all this anger comes from about him, one, having a job, but now people trying to campaign for him to keep it. Now, I don't think the club's going to falter. The club are putting him out. So they've frozen all contract talks. For those who don't know, the Dragons yesterday came out and said all contract talks are on hold. And that's not just with Flanagan, it's with all the players. Because, as I've heard some people saying, the coach is responsible for all the contract talks. Or the coach has final say on who they keep and who they extend and all that bullshit. So they've taken all that power away from Flano. He's out, mate. He's on his way out. But all these fucking people in the media that are now, and it's so obvious. It's so obvious. How can you go on for a month about how bad a Coach Madge is when the Broncos are doing what they're doing and now come out and say Shane Flanagan deserves to keep his job? You're not even hiding it. You're not even hiding it. Shit makes me angry. Shit makes me angry and there's nothing we can do about it. And the Cowboys, fancy talking about getting rid of Scott Drinkwater. I talked about this last week. Fancy talking about shopping Scott Drinkwater. Isn't he killing it? Absolutely killing it. Dragons looked absolutely woeful. Who'd you say before? Bailey Hayward has looked slow. Steve Leary, how's Gutho going? I put out there on the socials that I'd challenge Gutho over 20. The reason it's only 20 metres is I will dead set tear a groin, a calf and everything else after 20. But I reckon I got him. I reckon I got him over 20. Built for speed, built for power. Built for power. Oh, that's my wrap on the Cowboys Dragons. Absolute diabolical. Cowboys are going all right. Had a win over the Storm now, win over the Dragons, you can't count, but they kept them to 0. Todd Payten's job's safe, you'd think, unless there's a massive collapse from the Dogs for the rest of, from the Cowboys for the rest of the year. You'd think I haven't heard Todd Payten's name mentioned on the job queue for a couple of weeks now. Funny that. But now we've got to say Flanagan, it's all the players' fault. The players that he recruited. He brought Gutho and Cookie and all those guys who were past it, clearly past it. The other clubs aren't stupid. Para wanted Gutho gone straight away. One, because they thought he was past it. Two, because bad for culture. I've had this talk 1,000 times. Cookie, love him. Been great. Great servant. Great for New South Wales. Great everywhere. Past it. And the rest of them. Past it. And then they got the worst halves combination in the comp by far. No one has a worse half combination than the Dragons. But we'll let everyone go to fucking other clubs just so Kyle can keep a game. Not Kyle's fault. Talk about set up for failure. Jeez, your dad hasn't helped your son. My goodness. I'm going to talk more about coaches in a second, but let's pump through a couple more games first. Broncos 26, Titans 12. Steve Leary, sorry, but just back to the Dragons. Steve Leary says in the chat that Dean Young needs to take the reins. Actually, we'll do it now. We'll do what I was going to talk about next now. Yeah, you're probably right. Dean Young's done a good apprenticeship. I'm going to read you a resume, Steve Leary and Steve Gibbs. This is a conundrum. So I said in the preview to this, I had a conundrum that I need someone to help me make sense of. So I'm hoping you boys can help me. If I read you a resume, you got to tell me who this person is. All right. In 2019, we'll do it as who am I? Who am I? In 2019, I worked at the Canberra Raiders under Ricky Stewart as a consultant. In 2020 and 21, I worked at the Parramatta Eels under Brad Arthur as a consultant. In 2023, I worked at the Cronulla Sharks under Craig Fitzgibbon as an elite pathways and development coach. In 2024-25, I was a specialist coach with the halves and the hookers at the mighty Manly Sea Eagles under the recently departed Anthony Seibold. And in 2026, I'm an assistant coach at the St George Illawarra Dragons under the greatest coach of all time, Shane Flanagan. Who am I? Second half's just kicked off. Tigers 12, Para 10. Just waiting for an answer in the chat. Steve Leary's got it. It's Michael Ennis. Michael Ennis. So 2 consultant roles, a pathways role, a specialist halves coaching role, and now an assistant coach at an 0-5 team. Michael Ennis. And Michael Ennis has been the first name mentioned when it's come to any potential coaching job that's available. Someone make sense of that. Someone make sense of that for me. Now, I don't mind it. Like, I don't know him. I don't mind him. Everyone bags him out as being a terrible commentator. I actually don't mind his analysis. But if you're picking a head coach for your team and a resume comes across your desk that says 2 consultancy roles, a pathways role, and an assistant coach role at a team who's just about to have their coach sacked and hasn't won a game this season, what are you actually thinking? I don't get it. And you're right, Steve Leary. Steve Leary's just written repeater. They'd be clear on the instructions because they'd get every single instruction twice. For those who don't realise, Mick Ennis repeats everything he says. So they'd be right on the instructions. But what I don't understand it. And I go a step further with it because I look at who the coaches were that he worked under. His most 2 recent jobs are Flanagan and Seibold. What has he learned? What has he learned? When he was at Cronulla, Craig Fitzgibbon was only just getting going in his coaching journey, and he was a pathways guy in it, so he wasn't in the thick of it. Before that, he was with Brad Arthur at Para, who couldn't win anything. That was while Arthur was on his way out. The only coach with any real credibility that he's worked under was Ricky Stewart. Tigers are in. Tigers are in. So I need to know how Mick Ennis keeps getting to the top of the pile when you've got Dean Young and you got Ben Hornby and you had Willie Peters. Like, Willie Peters is already sorted. He's gone to PNG, but Ennis was getting mentioned before him. You can't even trust Robbo's coaching tree anymore, but you're going to trust Seibold and fucking Flanagan to train up a coach and get him ready for a head coaching role? What are we thinking? Try confirmed. Dare to believe, Steve Leary. Dare to believe that the perfect round might be on. Dare to dream. Kevy question mark from Steve Leary. He'd been down at the Storm for a bit. Kevy had been around. Kevy was under Robbo, I think, and then he was down at the Storm for a while, so he had a fair apprenticeship. I hope I put a packet of chips on. I didn't have a mate. I didn't have a multi. Didn't have a bet. With my record this year, how the hell could I possibly to have a bet with any confidence that I was going to get a perfect round. None. It's starting to shake out a bit though, isn't it, the comp? You're starting to feel like you can put a finger on certain things. I feel like you could probably tip more confidently. So I've got concerns over Ennis's apprenticeship from a depth standpoint. Like, he's never been anywhere long, and he hasn't really had. This is his first full-on assistant coaching role, and the team he's doing it is 0-5. And then I've got a huge concern over who he's learned off. He hasn't exactly gone to elite sporting organisations to learn his craft, has he? Has he? Let's go Tigers. 18-10 Tigers, 35 minutes to go in the second half. Broncos Titans, great win for Madge. Great win for the great man. It wasn't a brilliant game of footy. Broncos were okay, but it was more about you couldn't let Gordy get a win, could you? Peter Wallace. Yeah, Peter Wallace. So I reckon the Ivan Cleary coaching tree is the next big thing. You've already got Andrew Webster and Cameron Ciraldo, and I think Cameron Ciraldo is going to be undone by Gus. I highly doubt everything that's happening at the Bulldogs is the coach's fault. I strongly feel that it might be Gus Gould's fault. But the Ivan Cleary coaching tree, again, another reason why Ivan Cleary is the most underrated coach of all time. You've already got Andrew Webster. You've already got Cameron Ciraldo showing promise off it. Ben Gardner. Ben Gardner's going over as assistant coach to the Perth Bears. He's Ivan Cleary coaching tree. Adam O'Brien was he Roosters? He was a Roosters product, wasn't he? Robbo doesn't have a good coaching tree. Robbo doesn't have a good coaching tree. I guess there can be a counter-argument to Ennis too on that. We're watching a game that Benji Marshall's coaching, who had no apprenticeship as a coach. Foz has been thrown in at Manly with no apprenticeship. It can happen. He might be good. But I'm going, if you've just come as an assistant coach from an 0-5 team, who may not win a game this season, Steve Leary might be right, they won't win a game this year. He's not first hired in my list. Titans are doing exactly what I said the Titans would do. They're going to struggle for the first half of the year. Remember at the start of the year, I said they're going to have a Parramatta season from last year. Parramatta had a horrible start of the year, coming 17th, finished 11th. I don't think the Titans can finish 11th, but I think it's just taken time for Hannay to get his systems in order. They show glimpses. I watched a bit of this game. First 3 minutes, they were all over the Bronx. They made a break up the middle. Too many mistakes. Mistakes killed them. But Broncos now in all sorts. Reece Walsh out for 6 to 8 weeks. Ben Hunt out for 4 to 6 weeks. Adam Reynolds hurt again. They reckon he might be a chance to play this week, though. Payne Haas looks a shadow of his former self. I don't know if Payne Haas has checked out. So we'll see how the Broncos can stay resilient during this time. But another win for Madge over Gordy. It's clear that Madge owns everyone. Clear. But, we've got to sack him. We'll sack him, but we'll keep Flanagan, shall we? Fucking Bulldog Richie. Piss me off. Sharks are in trouble. Wars are in trouble. Fuck. Tigers are on top in this game, just quietly. Just to talk the game we're actually watching for a second. Tigers have got all the momentum. They look good. Tigers look good. Rugby league's good when the Tigers look good. And the Knights. You get the Knights up and about and the Tigers up and about. I'm guilty of death riding the Knights a bit during Adam O'Brien's tenure, Steve Leary, because I fucking didn't like the coach and I didn't think he should have been there. And I couldn't work out how he'd lose nearly every game for the first half of the year. He'd keep his job, yes, and then Ponga would come back and he'd win a few games, but winning a few games with Ponga was enough for him to keep getting extensions and shit. I couldn't work it out. Couldn't for the life of me work it out. So I was sort of death riding him a bit just for that. But the footy's in a good place when the Knights are up and about, for sure. Tigers are all over this. Waz Sharks. Waz are in trouble. Waz are showing exactly why I didn't have them in the top 8 this year as well. Had them 9th or 10th. But there's a problem with the Waz that the Knights are going to find. And that's returning players. I feel they were red hot in attack, playing smooth as silk they were. And then Luke Metcalf's come back and they've had to adjust everything and they haven't been the same since. Now, I think Metcalf's hurt again. I think he's done his hamstring, but sometimes in footy teams it's not just a case of you need to have your best players on the park. If there's cohesion and if there's fluidity and if the guys that are on the field are doing a fucking brilliant job and clearly have a combination and a flow, sometimes you might want to think about resisting just bringing someone back because they were one of your better players the year before or whatever. Because it's completely changed the Wars. They haven't been the same team in the last 2 weeks when Metcalf come back. Now, that doesn't change your defence. They've let in a lot of points, but the Tigers are looking pretty good here, and the Sharks aren't a bad football team. As much as I think they're still going to crumble against the good teams, the Sharks aren't a bad football team. But you break up the continuity that you had in attack. You break up the flow that you had by bringing in the halfback back who's been out for a long time, and Tanner Boyd was absolutely braining him. They've pushed him to 5'8". It changes everything, and it does change. The change in the feel, the change in the vibe will change your defence at the same time. So, fears for the Wars. Wade Egan's great hooker, but he's still busted. He's busted, always busted. I know a little bit of inside information there. He's got huge hip problems, always has for a while now, chronic hip problems. Chronic hip, so which is why he keeps playing through it. That it's not an injury that he needs rest for. He could rest it as much as he wants, but his hips are pretty much gone. But they just lacked. They were making too many errors too. Still exciting to watch, but the Sharks were pretty clinical. Nico and Braden Trindle playing well. We'll just see if they can keep it up when the whips are cracking. When the whips are cracking, speaking of cracking whips, Knights Raiders. I don't know if Gibbs is still here or he's gone. He's been very quiet, which probably means he's gone. How good did the Knights look? It was back and forth early, like it was a real grind. Good game of footy. Milk make too many mistakes, but the Knights look good. The Knights look really good. They weathered the storm early. They frustrated the shit out of the Raiders, and the Raiders, when they get frustrated, they turn into grubs. I like it, a bit of aggression. They're not subtle about it. Not like the Dogs, where they, not like the Dogs who are grubs, but then plead like they're angels. I think the Raiders know what they are when they start getting frustrated. Too many mistakes from the Raiders, too much ill discipline. Knights have a game plan. Knights are excited to be playing with each other. You can tell they're excited to be playing for their coach. And the biggest problem I see for you, Steve Leary, and for Knights fans is when Ponga and Dillbags go back. I reckon it ruins all of it. Exactly what I just said about the Wars. Exactly what I just said about the Wars, I think, is going to be the Knights' problem. The Knights have grown another arm and leg since they both went off against Manly before half-time. You can't deny it, man. You can't deny it. But since they both went off against Manly before half-time, you've grown another leg. You did in that game and in every game since. And the minute those two come back, that's gone. You got to rejig, you got to reshuffle, the combinations have got to reform. I'm going to say the Knights are a better team without Ponga. Because every year he gets hurt. Now, you did have Adam O'Brien as a coach, so you weren't always going great, but there were times where the Knights would win a couple in a row, Ponga would come back to lose again because it turns into Ponga ball. So the danger is, one, you got all these blokes playing well and a couple of people are going to lose their spot when they come back. And they'll be hard done by. Anyone who loses their spot in that team at the moment's got to be hard done by. Tigers going in again here. Just want to watch this for a second. Tigers are all over them, eh? So you got the problem of people who don't deserve to lose their spot, losing their spot. That always creates a bit of a funny vibe in a team. Then you got the problem of the combinations having to reform. Then you got the problem of, oh, well, we've got the two superstars back. We'll just let them do all the work now, which is what the Knights have been guilty of that in the past. As soon as Ponga comes back, it becomes Ponga ball, which changes the whole system. That's not the system they've been winning with. So I'll be very, very interested to see what happens when those two come back. And it won't be, I mean, it's a different scenario to the Warriors. Only one player came back, but I reckon that's a problem for the Warriors, and I reckon it might be a problem for the Knights. And Steve Leary has written in the chat, good enough to beat Penrith. 1,000,000%. I will chop my arm off. Oh, I've got to be real careful because there's been a lot of upsets this year. No more statements like that. No more statements like that. But Knights aren't going to beat Penrith, brother. No one's beating Penrith. No one. Raiders are cooked. They still look, in patches, they still look like they could beat anyone. But I think they know it, so they're not disciplined. They're not grinding. They'd stay in games last year and grind. Now they're getting the niggle in them, a lot of niggle in them. They're not smooth, they're not fluid. I don't think it's because they don't have Jamal Fogarty anymore. It looks like an attitude issue to me. Looks like it might be a bit too full of themselves, the milk. Just got that air about him. He wants to put 100. You want to put 100 on the Knights beating Penrith. When's the game? Tell me when the game is, because if it's in Origin time, the only chance you've got of beating Penrith is if it's at Origin time, because Penrith will be New South Wales. Don't even bother picking a fucking New South Wales team. Just put Penrith in there. Swap jerseys. That's what I reckon. Casey McLean, he's eligible for New South Wales. Let's go. Oh, if the Tigers butchered a try here, they have. Far out. Tigers butchered one there. Yeah, I don't know. They rely on Hudson too much, but he's a really, really good player, and he's done. He does some great things, but he also does some really dumb as dog shit things. And his skill isn't like he's trying chips over the top and all sorts of stuff. I've seen him score tries off grubber kicks before, but he's not the guy you need to rely on to create something. In no team ever has it been a second rower who's your main creative player. That's what I'm trying to say. You can't be relying on him to be your main creative player. We were just talking about the Knights relying on Ponga too much. That's okay. That's Kalen Ponga. Hudson Young is not. He's an edge back row who should be running holes, running bloody good holes. Occasionally off the cuff stuff, great. But for all his off the cuff stuff, he drops that many balls and throws that many silly passes with it. He just needs to stick to running holes, I think. Goffey hasn't dragged the Eels back into this yet. 18-10. How's I've forgotten his name. Is it Riley Smith, the hooker for Para? How's his doppelganger for Reed Marnie? Every time I think it's Reed Marnie. Every time I see him. Steve Leary, here's what we'll do, mate. If you're open to it, I won't put 100 on now. I need to see the team list, the week they play. And if Penrith are close to full strength, I'll put the 100 on. But I'm not risking it being around. I'm not going to do it. I'm not a complete moron. I'm not going to do it around Origin time where they're rested half their team. Fair? You got too much cash, mate. If you can put 100 on the Knights to beat Penrith the way Penrith are going at the moment, you've 100% got too much cash. You're obviously not paying for petrol. Spiel Gibbsy's not here because I wanted to talk about golf, and Gibbs is central to the story. This is the last game. We've got to wrap up. So, golf this week. We've got 2 games in over Easter. So first things first, the tattoo bet is on. The tattoo bet is locked in. The tattoo bet has been solidified. The rules of engagement are if at any time before $134 yesterday for petrol. What are you filling up, a motorbike? Can't fill a car up for $134 these days. Cost me $120 to fill up my son's Volkswagen Golf. And if you're as big as you told me you were, Steve-O, 6'9" or something and 200 million kilos, you're not rolling around in a Golf, surely. Anyway, I digress. So Gibbs piped up last week, said there's no chance of me getting to single figures by Christmas or by New Year's. He was that sure of it. VE Commodore. They're still rolling around. Did I have a VE? I had a VP. I had a VP station wagon. Don't do station wagons anymore. They were the go. No, I had a VP with a Group 1 sports kit on it. Yeah, love my Commodores. I love my Commodores, but I've been Toyota guy for a while now. Gibbs piped up, said I can't get to single figures in time. There's someone very hurt here. Blow-ups on the field. What did I miss? Gibbs is back. I just started talking golf, Gibbs, so you're right in time. Who got hurt? While there's a break in play, I'm going to grab a beer. I'll be 2 seconds. Oh, his knee's broken. I don't want to watch the replay. Fuck, Simeon. They won't show the replay now if he's that badly hurt. Gibbs has just put in the chat, watch the replay, his knee is broken. Who is it? Who's hurt? Can we just talk about the weather for a second? I fucking hate winter. I hate it. The whole world changes. Don't text me his knee breaking, Gibbs. Oh, it's Bailey Simonson. So daylight savings finished yesterday. Already the world's gone dark and cold. I'm in a jumper. I'm in trackies. I'm in my Ugg boots. World gets dark. You don't see the sun before you go to work. You don't see it after work. Everyone gets the shits. Everyone's mood changes. I work in an industry where I don't need anyone to have any more of the shits. They're already hard enough to deal with a lot of the time. Do love my beanies though, Steve-O. Yeah, good on ya. Do love my beanies. I said to Mr. Sunday Sesh earlier, it's close to beanie weather. I'll rock a beanie too. It doesn't have to be sub 20 degrees for me to rock a beanie. I'll rock a beanie as soon as it's socially acceptable. I went to the shops today, my Uggies. First venture out in the Uggies. I hadn't worn, first time in Ugg boots today. First time in Uggies today. Rocked them down to Food Works. But yeah, not a winter guy. Not a winter guy at all. All right, so back to golf. Gibbs pipes up, says I can't get to single figures before New Year's. We made a bet. The bet has been locked in. The bet has solidified. The bet's been made very, very public. So it's not just talk. It is for real. The rules of engagement are this. If I, at any time between now and the 1st of January 2027, reach single figures, I win the bet. I don't have to still be on single fingers. Oh, did he get that down? Did he get it down? Oh, Gibbs has texted me. I don't want to look. Oh, that's his... Oh, his leg's pointing backwards. He got it down. That's going to be a try. Gibbs, why'd you send me that? Oh, his leg is broken. That's a try. Sorry, I've got problems here. He sent me the video too. Oh, his leg broke. Yeah, that's knee. Oh, why did you send me that? That's disgusting. I can't do injuries. Yeah, it's a try. Did you go Tigers or Eels, Gibbs? Oh. Yeah, Leary, I'll send it to you. Fucking hell. I put you two boys in a group text too, so you can say good day to each other, the two Steves. That's feral, Gibbs. Why'd you send me that? Just trying to distract me from the golf chat. So if at any point I get to single figures before New Year's, I win the bet. I don't have to stay on single figures until the 1st of January. If that was the case and I got there, I just wouldn't play golf again until the bet was over. If I do get to single figures, Gibbs has to get my handicap tattooed on him. The rules we've made around the tattoo is it can't be any smaller than a 50-cent piece, so there's no dogging it to that extent. And I know we said last week I was going to get Gibbs was right tattooed on me, but I thought about it overnight. That's not really fair ink distribution. So I've asked if I can get away with having GWR tattooed on me, which obviously stands for Gibbs was right, and Gibbs has been kind enough to accept. So the bet is on. Deal is done. Single figures by the 1st of the 1st, 2027, or I'm getting tattooed. Now, what progress has been made? Little bit. Round of golf on Good Friday. Competition round at Royal Wyong Golf Club. 36 points. Might double it. I don't know. Well, it's a good excuse for a holiday, but I don't know if you need a mate to tattoo two fucking numbers on you. It's not exactly, oh, shit. Oh, Tigers are going to fuck this up. Eels are coming back hard with one in the bin for the Tigers. Can John Rahm win the Masters? I'm on Bryson. We'll talk about the Masters in a sec because it is Masters week. So we played Royal Wyong on Good Friday, and I was having a stonker of a round. I was going really, really well, and I know Gibbs doesn't rate it, but I was going well. I hadn't had a double bogey. Double bogeys are my kryptonite. Fuck, same dude's in again. Eels are in again. Can we just go back to that bloke breaking his leg for a second? How is it a sin bin? Like, he's hard done by there, the Tigers player. They were in the middle of the air. Of course he was going to reach out. And it's never a sin bin any other time. It's only never a sin bin. It's been a penalty. It's been a penalty all year because they changed the fucking rule. But you shouldn't go to the sin bin just because the bloke broke his fucking leg. It wasn't malicious. Oh, 18-all. 18-all kick to come. So anyway, I was having a good round at Wong, and then I was dumb enough to check the score after getting a birdie. I was on 31 points with 4 holes to go, which meant I should have at least had 40 points probably. Finished on 36. I crumbled after that. Crumbled on the 15th onwards. Finished with 36 points. Lost another 0.4 off the handicap. We're down to 15.1. Could have been, though. Could have been down into the 14s. Could have been down into the 14s and putting some real pressure on Gibbs early. The goal is, I've broken it down, we want to get to 13 by 12 rounds in. Got 270 days. And at 1 round a week, it should have been 39 rounds, but I've already played 2 this week. So the steam train, I'm calling it the steam train because I'm just charging for it. The steam train to singles is well and truly on. Book of Feuds, though, again, Book of Feuds, people who hit up when you got nowhere else to go. Old Cam would have punched on the other day. Old Cam would have punched on Good Friday. Would have been 15 junior polos. These fucking idiots behind us. There's nowhere we can go. There's a group in front. We're waiting on most tees. There's a group behind us. And I noticed with about 4 holes to go, about the time I was crumbling, ball kept rolling past us while we're on the green. This fuckwit in a pink shirt, big boy, about my size, behind us, kept hitting up on us. And he was hitting from a long way away, but he knew he could do it. Wasn't yelling out. There's no reason for it. We weren't even fucking, like, there was clearly nowhere else to go. And this fuckhead keeps hitting up on us. And then we get to the last green, we're shaking hands. As we're shaking hands, whack! One of the boys in the group gets whacked in the leg by this fuckwit in a pink shirt, who called 4 after he hit us. After he hit Watto, calls 4. Whacked him right in the back of the knee. Watto's solidly built. You can tell the bloke works out. And I thought, we're on here. The knuckle's on. We're going to throw down at Royal on the 9th green at Royal fucking Wyong. Watto walks off. He'd had a shit round, so he wasn't in the mood. Watto walks off. Watto's mate who was playing with us didn't walk off, though. He stayed on the green and waited, and it was nearly on like fucking Donkey Kong. But if you're a fuckwit who hits up on people when there's clearly nowhere else to go, you're in my Book of Feuds. You can fuck right off too. And then Gibbs and I, we had a bit to contend with, so competition round at Wyong Golf Club, 36 points, handicap comes down. The very next day, lucky enough to play twice this weekend, the second round, we're going to the Mangrove round now. The second round of the Wilson Gibbs Invitational. The idea is once a month, Gibbs and I are going to play for the trophy. And this was our second round. We couldn't get on at Royal Wyong, so we went to Royal Mangrove Mountain. Gibbs hasn't played there in a lot of years. I play there a little bit because it's close to home and I know a lot of the people who play there. Difficult course, beautiful course, picturesque course, but difficult. Most underrated course probably I've ever played on. It's listed, it was Sunday. Yeah, it was Sunday. Sorry. Easter long weekend. I've lost track of days. So it's rated as an easy course, Mangrove Mountain, on all the handicapping apps. So I lose 4 shots, so I'm a 15 handicapper now. So I was playing off 11. Gibbs, who's a 5 handicapper, he only lost 3 shots. He was playing off 2. That's how easy they reckon Mangrove Mountain is. It's not that easy. Not easy at all. And it was flogging down. Absolutely flogging down. Braver men would have, or smarter men, one of the two, brave or smarter, would have quit. Less brave men, I should say, would have quit before they even kicked off. Not Gibbs and I, because I think ego was involved too. I wasn't going to say, let's pack it up, because that's a forfeit. I would have had to give him the trophy, and sure as shit, he wasn't going to say it. So Royal Mangrove, torrential rain, wettest game of golf I've ever played in my life. Second round of the Wilson Gibbs Invitational. And I fucking towed him up. Gibbs is going to jump in the chat now and say, oh, you got lucky on 2 holes. Don't care, 1 by 8 shots. Towed him up, retained the trophy. 2-0, Wilson Gibbs Invitational. And narrator, Gibbs is adding in, it is not easy, not an easy course. And listen, I'm not that good on sportsmanship. I'm very, very competitive, but I was a good sportsman. I let him know which holes were tough and where he had to hit the ball and all that sort of shit, because Mangrove Mountain's not somewhere you can just rock up to having not played there in 5 years and go any good. And I warned Gibbs about the worst par 3 in Australia, the worst par 3 in golf, the worst par 3 in the entire fucking universe. I warned him about it. And it sucked him in. It sucked him in good. It sucked him in hard. This fucking par 3, the tee box point's right. And if you hit your ball right, you're dead. If you hit your ball left, you're dead. It's 175 metres uphill. It's a blind tee shot. You can see just the top of the pin. You can't see the green. If you go long, dead. Hardest par 3. And I've played at Hamilton Island where there's a par 3 where you have to hit across the ocean. This one, harder. He didn't fucking listen to me. He didn't listen to me telling him that the tee box was aiming right. So he squared up with the tee box, aimed right, and guess what? Ball gone. But this fucking hole gets you many, many ways. You never think your ball's gone. Didn't help that we had Pommy Dan in the group telling us he saw it land. Didn't see it fucking land. It never landed. There's a fence that juts out that has caught every single person's ball that's ever played at that course. We get up there. He doesn't take another fucking tee shot because he's convinced we'll find his ball. 4 of us could not find his ball, gone. And up to that point, he was killing me. I think he was up by at least 3 because I'd had a couple of shockers of holes before. He has a 7 on a par 3. 7 on a par 3, rattled. 7 on the worst par 3 in golfing universe ever. Completely rattled. Walks up to the next tee, stripes his fucking tee shot out of bounds. Cam's back in the game. So we break at 9 holes. We make the turn. He's still 1 in front of me, but I have an 8. Oh, what did I have? Yeah, I had an 8-shot lead, right? So here's where, in fairness to Gibbs, we had this talk in the golf cart while we were getting pissed on from a great height. There's probably not a 10-shot difference between us in actual golfing ability. Probably not. But because of the way the handicaps are worked at the moment, I'm starting each of these games 9 or 10 shots up on him. So I should win. Really. I should win. And when he does win, never going to happen, it'll be a monumental effort. Monumental. But we stuck it out through rain, sleet, snow, and our fucking playing partner who would not shut the fuck up. Would not shut up. Never met the bloke. Normally when you meet someone for the first time, you're a little bit sheepish, a little bit shy. Normally it takes you a couple of holes to warm up into each other and start talking. Not this bloke. Not this bloke. He was telling us how to play golf from the very first tee. Nah, it is what it is. Don't be humble now, Gibbs. But I gave it to you. Anyway, listen, mate, take it because, I'm carrying on too much. I have a 10-shot fucking lead over you. But anyway, can we talk about the bloke who from the very first tee was telling us how to play golf? Mate, I've swung a club before. It's okay. He was very good at telling us where the ball had gone. We can see the fucking thing. Bright yellow fucking thing sitting on the ground in front of us. We know where it went. He was very good at telling us how tricky the greens were and that the pro had told him that the greens were tricky. Very good at that. Very good at reminding us it was wet. It was fucking flogging down. Flogging down all day. My hat, I didn't know hats could rust. My hat has fucking rusted. The little fucking bobble on top, the metal bit under it, has rusted and put rust all through me ping hat. Gone. Gone. Because it was wet. Thanks, mate. Thanks for letting us know. I had 4 layers on because it was cold, but thanks for telling us it was cold. Thanks for telling us after every putt that missed, oh, geez, you nearly got that one. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, but Gibbs, he was right about the tees. The problem is the one time we needed him, the one time he made sense and the one time he was right, we didn't believe him because he wouldn't shut up about everything else. Mangrove's a funny place. It's only 9 holes, so the first 9 you play off different tees to the back 9 and we couldn't get it right. Yeah, it was a bit wet, Steve Leary. It was a bit wet. There's a fucking cyclone coming down. The cart's bogged in a fucking quicksand. And he says, geez, man, it's wet. It's just so wet. Oh, punish. Punish. Now, I said last week, and here's where I want to be a little bit careful because doesn't strike me as a bad fella. Doesn't strike me as a bad guy. I did say last week, you either walk off the golf going, that guy's a legend or that guy's a fuckwit. There's no in between in golf. You've never walked off a round and gone, oh, that guy was okay. So if there's only 2 options, he's not the legend. Definitely not a legend. You need wet weather gloves. And he had all the gear. And I won't say no idea. He could drive the ball a very long way, but he didn't have a very good score. For all the advice he was giving. Oh, the boys are having fun in the chat. I could have a fucking inflatable hand from the Easter show and it would still be soaked. Yeah, wet weather gloves going to stop a monsoon. That's where the first responders have got it wrong, Gibbs. When they're rescuing people from floods, they haven't got a wet weather golf glove on. You're kidding me. It's the first time I've ever had to come home and dry out my bag, my clubs and absolutely everything. First time I've ever had to do it. And I reckon there's a very good chance that if the Wilson Gibbs Invitational Trophy wasn't on the line, we would not have finished the round. Plenty around us didn't. There was a lot of people around us. The guys that were behind us didn't finish their round. The guys that were behind us, and this is what Steve wanted to talk to, I've already said about the bloke hitting us on the Friday. These blokes drive halfway down a fairway to ask us if they can play through. Again, there's nowhere we can go. We're waiting for people up on the green. Oh, we're locals. Can we play through? Right? I wasn't thinking at the time. I'm too busy trying to play golf. And I go, yeah, mate, no worries. We go back to our ball, which is in the middle of the fairway. A lot of blind shots at Mangrove Mountain. You're supposed to ring a bell when it's safe for your team behind you to hit off. We didn't ring any fucking bell, and all we hear is whack. Ball lands 10 metres from us. Whack. Another ball lands 10 metres from us. So 2 things. One, they've dropped, oh, we're locals. Like, that's meant to mean fucking anything. I've paid for my round. We're all getting wet. Apparently it's wet. Did you know it was wet? Whack! Hit up on us again. Then they come over the hill and go, oh, shit, sorry, boys, didn't know. And then they realise. That there's 6 groups in front of us and we can't fucking go anywhere. They played one more hole and fucked off. What they should have done is gone and talked to the talkative one of the group. They could have given him a wet weather glove, given him a weather report and let him know that the greens were a bit tricky because that's what the pro told him. Did you know the pro said that the putting's the hardest thing here, Steve Gibbs? Did you know? The pro said. What would have been hilarious, Gibbs, is, except that we knew Benny, we stole their cart. So now that we knew the bloke, Steve Gibbs is out taking aspirin. Thank you, Gibbs. We actually stole their cart. So there wasn't enough carts left. It was flogging down rain. I half knew the pro from Gosford and I blew up because Gibbs stitched me up. You don't play Mangrove Mountain without a cart. You cannot walk it. I turn up, we're walking because Gibbs hasn't booked a cart. So I blew up. Anyway, phone call gets made. We've got a cart. Turns out we took the cart off our playing partners. We took the cart off our playing partners, which, having met the other bloke, was fucking perfect, absolutely perfect, except the fourth guy we were playing with, Benny, was a very good mate of Gibbsy, so I felt bad for Benny, but how perfect would it have been if it was just the other bloke? So good. So good. 5 minutes to go, 18 all. Knock on. Oh, he's called knock back. No, he hasn't called knock back. He's called knock back. How could he call knock back there? See you, Gibbs. Have a good night. All right, 4 minutes to go. All right. Leary, I can't believe me perfect round is relying on a fucking golden point game. This is making me nervous. Pretzels are making me thirsty. Was there anything else on the list I had to talk about? Pluto Pups? No, we did that. No, we got through all that. Better do the tips for next. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, ankle tap. Happy with the ankle tap. Now Mitchell Moses is claiming a head high. You got to be shitting me. And Goffey's give it to him. You've got to be shitting me. Oh, no. It's going to be a penalty. Oh, no. Ah, for fuck's sake. You got to be shitting me. Of course they're going to take the two. Genius. Fuck. If my perfect round loses because of that, I'm filing a protest. Filing a protest. Yeah, I'm not a Mitch Moses fan. Smart play, though. What do you do? Smart play. He should go off. Well, why can't he go off for a HIA? He can't kick the goal. He's just been whacked. He's just been whacked in the head. I'm going to watch this live. I'm not going to look at the scoreboard on the screen. I need to watch and see if he kicks it. Justice is he misses. If there's any justice in the world, he misses. Chewy on your boot. What about that for one of the great sporting calls of all time, the old chewy on your boot? Miss it. I'm not looking at the scoreboard. Oh! Shit. Come on, Tigers. I want to go back to the sin binning, though. I know they're saying tackled in the air, but it hasn't been a sin bin all year. It's not a sin bin. They've only sin binned him because he got hurt. But there was no intent in it. Oh, man. Yeah, it's going to be very disappointing if you're right. Oh, Tigers have got the ball back, though. Come on. Penalty. Penalty. And we need to kick a goal. $40 out right in front. Come on. How's that for sweet justice? Hopefully it's as soft as shit as the one that Moses got. Benji's not chewing his gum. I'm worried about him. Telling you, needs a gum sponsor. Yeah, I'm in front of you, Steve. I got it, mate. Yeah, it was soft too. It wasn't even a head high. Oh, that wasn't a penalty either. That's a square up for sure. That's a square up for sure. Come on, jockey boy. He's got it. Come on. Perfect round, still alive. We're still alive. The minute to go. I don't know if I've ever had a perfect round tipping before. I'm 43. I don't know if I've ever had a perfect round. I can't remember. I feel like it's something I'd remember because it doesn't happen very often. Come on, Tigers, says Steve Leary. I'm with you, brother. Never in doubt, that kick. Indian for dinner tonight. What's your go-to Indian dish, Steve-O? Well, we've got a minute to go. $48 seconds on my clock. Oh, shot. Up, come on. Oh, there's no one there. There's no one there. Don't do anything dumb. Big kick. Oh, that's not a big kick. Oh! Well, he tackled his own player in midair. Sin bin him. Yeah, butter chicken's a go-to for sure. Oh, he's tried to... Mitchell Moses has just tried a 56-metre field goal. Golden Point. We're going to Golden Point. Butter chicken, Steve-O. Medium spice. I'll have a lamb vindaloo. I like my spicy food. Lamb vindaloo and a cheese and garlic naan with a bit of saffron rice or whatever they do with the rice. That's about. I'm pretty bog standard with my Indian. Pretty bog standard. All right. Extra time. Let's look at next week's games, shall we? Oh, it's Pinky and the Brain versus the Panthers. Pinky and the Brain versus the Panthers. Dogs and Panthers. Panthers are $1.15. Panthers are $1.15, Steve Leary. Panthers. I know you're going to ride in their Panthers shortly. Manly Dragons. I'm going to tip Manly, but I'm going to say this. I am not surprised at all if they lose. Because as what I said before, Manly have a huge problem against teams they should beat. But I also tip, I don't know if Flano sees out the week. His mates in the media are going to try really hard for him to keep his job, but I don't know if he sees out the week. So I'm going to go Manly over the Dragons, but not surprised if they lose. Cowboys, Broncos, no Reece Walsh, no Ben Hunt, probably no Adam Reynolds. I'm going to go, listen, Leary, 13 plus for the Panthers is a soft cock bet. Again, 13 plus against everyone. There needs to be a new, and I don't reckon it'll be long. I don't reckon it'll be long before the betting agencies bring in like a 19 plus or something like that. I don't reckon it'll be wrong before 13 plus goes out the window as the biggest margin that you can back. It's going to be 19 plus or something like that soon, for sure. 13 plus is too easy money with the Panthers. Broncos, Cowboys, with everyone out for the Broncos, this isn't a Madge thing. Yeah, I'm with you, Steve Leary. I'm going to go the Cows. It'll still be an upset. It's at Suncorp. I'm going to go the Cowboys. I'm with you. Raiders, Rabbits in Perth. I'm going to go the Raiders for their first win. Yeah, Panthers 30 plus. Thank you. At least you're having a go now. If it was in Sydney, for some reason, I'll go the Bunnies. But because it's Perth, a lot of travel. Raiders much more used to travelling than the Bunnies. Raiders have got to win a game soon. Their only win so far has been against a Seabold coach Manly team. I don't reckon Souths are travelling that well. I reckon if the Raiders can sort their shit out, this might be the week for it. Raiders to win. Sharks, Roosters. Roosters are fucking woeful. They've had a bye, but Sharks to beat the Roosters. Storm Wars. Oh. Storm Wars. See, this is one of them rounds where I'm going to go from perfect round to getting two right, because I'm reckon the Wars. Wars have a great record down in Melbourne. They're one of the few teams, a bit of a bogey side for Melbourne down in Melbourne. Can the Wars do it, or am I being stupid? I have to put some more thought in. I'm going to say Wars now, Steve Leary, but permission to change my tips by the time I do them on Thursday. I'm going to have to put some thought into this. Eels, Titans. Oh, Eels. Eels, Titans will be Eels. Maybe, though. Yeah, you've gone Sharks. With you there. And then Tigers, Knights. Tigers are $1.65 versus the Knights at $2.24. You're on the Knights all day at $2.20. The way the Knights are going, I can't tip them again. And Tigers going well too, don't get me wrong. I'll probably be on the Knights there. A lot of away teams though, that scares me. I've tipped a lot of away teams. Why would you chip it? He's knocked that on. Yeah, come on. Come on. That was the dumbest. That fucking chip was the dumbest thing. What is he doing there? What is he doing? What are you doing? What was he doing? What was he doing? Yeah, I'm not quite sure why the Tigers are favourites over the Knights. Maybe it'll adjust after this game. Fuck, Dewey got away with one there. Tigers should win this now. Come on. Imagine what they're going to say in the papers if the Sunday Sesh has a perfect round. They'll probably say that Flanagan should keep his job. Do it now. Do it now. Do it. Touched. 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 Tigers ball. They like that. Penalty. Penalty. Tigers are going to win. Come on. Come on. Tigers are going to win. Can they challenge an offside? What's Moses doing? Get out of his face, mate. Get out of his face. He's a great ref, Peter Goff. Great ref. Get out of his face, mate. Come on. Miles offside. Geez, you want to be consistent with that, though. That's a big call. Big call.
Let's go, little buddy.
Does he kick it? Does he kick it? Yeah, he does. Let's go. Perfect round for the Sunday Sesh. You. Come on. Wonder if the comp I'm in does that dodgy shit where you used to get double your points for a perfect round. How good is that? I've got no idea who I just tipped for next week though, Steve-O. I'll have to play it back and have a look. Panthers over the Dogs easy. Manly over the Dragons. Won't be surprised if Manly lose. Cowboys over the Broncos because of the Broncos' injuries. Raiders to get their first win travelling to Perth. Over the Rabbits. Sharks to beat the Roosters. I think the Roosters are ordinary. Sharks are travelling well. Storm Wars. Who'd you go to Storm Wars? You went to Wars too? I'm saying the Wars for now, but reserve the right to have a think about it. Eels Titans. Yeah, going the Eels. And I think you've got to go the Knights over the Tigers. Good game of footy, though. Is it the 4 o'clock game? It's a 4 o'clock game. So we'll be on for the Knights Tigers, Steve-O, if you're here next week. Steve-O got 7 out of 8. Really enjoyed that one today. Thanks for joining in the chat. Anyone who missed it can jump on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all them sorts of places to listen to it back. Did get fired up. My throat's a bit sore. Hopefully we're talking about Flanagan not having his job next week and instead of the journos. Stay safe, everyone. Have a great week. Have a great week, Steve Leary. Stay safe, mate. And we'll see everyone again next week. Thanks for being part of the Sunday Sesh.